Sir Sagramore of Hungary is a knight of the Round Table in the Arthurian legend. His characterization varies from story to story, though he is surprisingly prolific. He appears in a number of early stories, such as Chrétien de Troyes' works, and he turns up in all the cyclical versions. He gains a number of nicknames, including the Impetuous and le Desirous. Generally he is characterized as a virtuous but hot-tempered knight who fights fiercely and ragefully. Sagramore in the Lancelot Grail. According to the Lancelot Grail cycle, Sagramore is the son of the King of Hungary and the daughter of the Eastern Roman Emperor. He is even an heir to the throne of Constantinople. His father dies while he was still young, and his mother accepts the proposal of King Desirous of Estangor in Britain. When he is 15, Sagramore travels to Britain to join them and to become one of King Arthur's knights. Upon arrival in Britain, Sagramore engages Arthur's Saxon enemies, and receives aid from Arthur's nephew Gawain and his brothers. The group is subsequently knighted by Arthur. The Lancelot Grail describes him as a good knight, but quick to anger. When fighting, he would go into a frenzy not unlike the Irish hero Cuchulain's warp spasm. When he came down, he would feel ill and hungry, as he was wont to do. Sir Kay gave him a nickname, Mortagern, because he would sometimes go into epilepsy-like fits. The Lancelot Grail recounts a number of his adventures, often centered around rescuing damsels, and mentions that he had a daughter by one of his paramours who was raised at Arthur's court by Guinevere. His half-sister, Brandegar's beautiful daughter Claire, falls in love with Sir Bors and sleeps with him. The child is Elianne the White. He dies by Mordred's hand at the Battle of Camlan as one of Arthur's last remaining warriors. Other stories. The post-Vulgate cycle contains a different backstory for Sagramore. His family rescues Mordred from the sea and raises him for the next several years as Sagramore's step-brother. In the prose Tristan, Sagramore is portrayed as a great friend to the Cornish knight Tristan, and even alerts the rest of the Round Table to his death. In Sir Thomas Malory's La Morte d'Arthur, Sagramore's prowess varies from situation to situation. He usually serves to lose joust to better knights, but at times he is a valiant fighter. He is also the subject of a fragmentary German romance, Sagramores, the surviving portions of which describe his journey to an island ruled by Fae and his undesired combat with his friend Gawain. In the 16th century Portuguese novel Triunfos de Sagramore Memorial das Proezas da Segunda Tavola Redonda, by playwright George Ferreira de Vasconcelos, Sagramore and legendary British King Constantine III fused into a single person. Sagramore Constantino, portrayed as the heir to Arthur, who forms a new Round Table to fight the Saxons and keep the glory of Arthurian Britain. Sagramore appears with some regularity in modern Arthurian literature. In Alfred, Lord Tennyson's Merlin and Vivien, one of the idylls of the king, he stumbles into bed with a maiden. Thinking he is in his own room, to save the reputation the two strangers wed, but the purity and goodness make the marriage a happy one. The knight appears in the musical Camelot and was played by Peter Bromelow in the film version. In Bernard Cornwell's The Winter King, Sagramore is a fierce Numidian veteran of the old Roman army, and follows Arthur to Britain after the collapse of the Western Roman Empire. Mark Twain characterized Sagramore as an angry, backwards knight and a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's court, who challenges the Yankee to a duel to the death and is defeated by the Yankee's modern weaponry. His armor, later displayed in a museum featuring a gunshot hole inflicted by the Yankee, serves as a set piece to the start of the story. Sagramore was portrayed by William Bendix in the 1949 film version of the tale. In a Disney film, A Night in Camelot, Sagramore slays Clarence's parents and takes the lands. After Sir Boss defeats him in a duel, Clarence defeats him and reveals his crimes in front of King Arthur.